Bienvenidos, amigos. Welcome, friends. So good to see your names, some of your photos. Hi. To see your beautiful pictures pop up in this virtual Zoom room. I'm so grateful and honored to be gathered here with you all today. I hope that as you find yourself comfortable in our Zoom room today, or as you find yourself comfortable watching this from home, if you're watching the recording, or maybe you're watching the LinkedIn live stream, that you feel good coming on screen and showing your face. And if you're in the LinkedIn live, please be sure to check in the comments for the Zoom room if you'd like to be in this interactive space with us today. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a Psychedelic Guide Network event called Exploring the Human Design for Psychedelic Facilitation. And I am Ashley. I'm the founder of the Psychedelic Guide Network, a peer in the space, psychedelic psychotherapist. And before we dive into our really unique, incredibly, I'm totally excited for this event today. About human design. Before we dive into all of that, I'd like to just take a moment to slow down. I'd like to take a moment to fully arrive. I'd like to invite you to just pause, take some few presencing deep breaths wherever you're at. Maybe closing your eyes for just a moment to notice what's alive for you as you arrive fully in your physical space and time, and as you arrive virtually in our Zoom room. And just honor that. Whatever's present, whatever's alive. Allow it to be. And also inviting in more presence. If you've closed your eyes, taking a moment to just notice your feet on the ground, or notice the chair beneath you supporting you, or just becoming aware of the sensation of clothes on your skin. And when you're ready to return from this little reprieve, gently blinking your eyes back open, returning to our Zoom room, to our shared space together, feeling grounded, present, and excited to learn more about human design and psychedelic facilitation. I am Ashley Carmen, founder of Psychedelic Guide Network and fellow peer in this space. I am in Austin, Texas, and I'm curious where you all are at. So these events are a lot of fun because we have the reach, the global reach. If you'd like to drop in the chat where you're zooming in from, would love to see what reach we have through this event today. If you're new here to this speaker event, if you're new to the Psychedelic Guide Network, the Psychedelic Guide Network is a community of psychedelic guides, not just any guides. I mean, these are guides that are like committed to integrity. They're committed to reverence. They're committed to supporting other guides. And what we do as a community is we increase integrity and ethics in the psychedelic field. We don't just talk about it, we actually do it. We put it into action. We engage in peer-to-peer support groups that are called peer consultation groups, which are more like wisdom circles actually in our community, because we're not there only clinically. It's such a clinical term, peer consultation. Where there is a collective sharing wisdom, just as our elders did with each other, and sharing wisdom specifically about psychedelic facilitation. And we do this with a lot of structure and intention. We do this in very safe, sacred containers called our wisdom circles. So if you're interested in joining a community of guides, if you're interested in increasing your ethics, we have wisdom circles that are accepting new members this July. And if you're not ready for a wisdom circle, you're not an active guide, we also have a we have a community membership, which is for other allies, potential psychedelic guides, people who are brand new to psychedelic facilitation that are interested in psychedelic facilitation, looking to connect with other professionals, looking for resources and looking for education. So if you have questions about membership with PGN, feel free to ping myself or Marielle, PGN lead, who is here in our Zoom room also today, or send us an email and we'll answer any questions that you have. We are really committed to just connecting people that are dedicated to their ethical practice. That's our goal and that's our mission. So if that's you and that speaks to you, we'd love to hear from you. Part of our mission outside of increasing ethics in the psychedelic facilitation space and increasing integrity within psychedelic guides is providing free education, resources. And so we host these events live. We host these events for free. I mean, free is such an interesting word. There's a lot of resources that go into the cultivation, the time, the tech, the admin support, Laura's time, the coordination. These are all resources that PGN sponsors and our speakers sponsor to bring you all education here today. And we're honored to do so. And all of our live events are housed in our member portal. And so today's event is about exploring the human design for psychedelic facilitation. I'm going to go ahead and read Laura's bio because it is a really beautiful one. And it really adds a lot of context to what she's bringing in for us today. Laura Lopez is the founder of Energy Therapy, LLC, co-founder of the Sanctuary of Consciousness, and creator of the SBT Energy Therapy app. As a global retreat leader, energy healer, and spiritual guide, Laura empowers others to reclaim their sovereignty, love that word, by transforming subconscious limitations, restoring energetic alignment, and awakening their divine potential. Her work is grounded in the belief that true healing arises from within. When we trust our inner guidance, reconnect to sacred practices, and remember who we truly are. Through the Sanctuary of Consciousness, Laura supports a movement dedicated to elevating global consciousness through divine love. The Sanctuary offers a sacred path that integrates prayer, song, ceremony, sacred plant medicines, evidence-based holistic practices, and personal development, all in service to remembering the creator within. Laura also leads the SBT Energy Therapy Training Certification Program and the Network of Healers, a growing community of certified practitioners offering transformational energy work worldwide. With decades of lived experience as a healer, mother, widow, and teacher, she teaches that the most effective guides are grounded in their own practices and capable of holding steady, attuned space for others. I have been incredibly fortunate to have the lovely introduction to Laura through some of our other speaker events with the Sanctuary of Consciousness and Dana and Uncle Ron. And if you have access to the membership, if you're a part of those events, you'll remember that it's a beautiful emerging church that has a lot of offerings, very paralleled actually in mission to PGN, with integrity and divine love and expansion of consciousness and how we do that through our facilitation practice. And also just have had the opportunity to get to know Laura on a more personal level. And I really, really enjoy her presence. Laura, I'm so honored to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the speaker event.
Thanks, Ashley. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks for reading my bio. You just saved me 30 seconds, so I appreciate that. I'm super excited to be here, and thank you for offering yourself. We used you today as our example, which is really epic. So we're going to talk a little bit about what human design is for those who don't know. I'm not going to go into a huge depth about that because many of you are already familiar with it. But really what I really want to do is show how we are literally designed to be guides or teachers or facilitators. And when we step fully into that alignment, not only are we in alignment with ourselves, but the collective consciousness and serving humanity. And when you and I, Ashley, were talking about what we wanted to bring out into this particular presentation, as I sat with it, I really thought, one of my callings is like what my personal individual mission in life is to help every person recognize the divinity within them, that they are God co-creators within themselves, and to be willing to bring that out into a ceremonial space, no matter what their beliefs are. And so in ceremony, depending on what medicine we're serving, we have certain protocols, which are really important, and that we maintain those protocols. And depending on what lineage we're serving, which medicine we're serving, and by what lineage, it's also important that we maintain that integrity. And yet, I believe that each of us individually, as guides and facilitators, it's super important that we rely on our own faith and our own guidance, and be open to our own, let's even call it weirdness, our own unique signature that allows us to bring in the essence of our own individual faith or our beliefs, without, of course, pushing any faith or beliefs on any of our clients. But I think it's important that we give ourselves permission, and we also ask our clients for permission to fully embody us without them taking offense, or without them feeling that we're pushing anything on them. So I wanted to use and show how unique this human design report is, and how we incorporate that.
And
Now,
sorry. So we'll dive into, just to orient the room, we'll dive into more presentation, and Laura's going to share, and then she'll open up for a live Q&A. If you have things that are alive for you, please drop them in the chat, and we'll make sure that we present them to Laura. And also know that we'll be pausing for a really interactive live Q&A portion a little bit through the hour. Sorry, Laura.
Thanks for saying that. No, so please drop in those questions. And Ashley, if you'll stop me and ask those questions throughout, that'll be great. I'll kind of be in the zone. And then, as Ashley mentioned, the interactive, of course, will be open to Q&A, but I want to give the opportunity for anyone at the end, if you don't feel like you're fully aligned with your purpose, or if you feel like there's something blocking you, I would like to open it up to the room to tap into your subconscious, if you're comfortable with it, and identify one energetic block or imbalance that's preventing you from magnifying your calling or fulfilling your purpose here on this earth. So that's my day job through energy therapy, is one-on-one energy sessions. And we do, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time sharing how I do that, just for the sake of time. That could be a whole presentation within itself. But I want to give the opportunity for those who would like me to tap into your subconscious to clear, we can do that. All right, let me go ahead and pull up my slide here. All right, so are you seeing my screen, Ashley?
I am not seeing your screen.
Glad that I asked.
There we go. Okay.
All right. So if you're already a facilitator, and you've been a facilitator for a long time, and you feel fully divinely in your calling and in your role, you're probably not asking yourself these questions anymore. So I invite you to just hold space for those who are still in this. But if you're new to it, or you're still developing or evolving, you've probably said one or some of these things. Now, for myself, I remember as I started this work, what I really wanted to know is why I know what I know. And what I mean by that is I would be like, I don't understand how I know, I just know. Or I would say, a lot of my clients would come to me and say, I can literally see people, like the real them beneath the mask. Or people have always come to me for advice, even strangers, my whole life. And I'm just so tired of doing that for free. And now I actually want to get paid for doing that as a profession. You're like literally born to help serve people. I've been through everything in my life, and I just don't fully know what to do with it yet, right? And all of the drama and the trauma that we had to individually overcome, all of the life experience and the wisdom that we gained. And here we are on the precipice of knowing exactly how to put that into play to have it allow us to fulfill our purpose. I feel like I'm waiting for permission or a sign to begin, or I can't do normal life anymore. It's literally draining my soul. I can't do the 8 to 5. I can't go to work every day. I know too much. I'm around everybody who's asleep, and I just can't be in the grind anymore. Or I've always known that I was different. It feels like a curse, but deep down, I know it's a gift. These are things that many of my clients and facilitators are saying. I have a message, I just don't know how to say it yet. I want to help people, but I'm scared that I'm going to mess it up. I can feel the pain behind people's smiles. These are your guides who are intuitively tapped in and just being able to feel what others feel. There's a reason for that. All of that is also explained in human design. I've had this feeling since I was a child that I'm supposed to do something important, and I feel called to something. I don't want to be arrogant or prideful, but it's this drive that I can feel within me, and I want to be able to step into that. But maybe I'm a little delusioned. Maybe I'm not really that important, right? We go through this internal battle. The more I heal, the more I know, and I'm here to lead others through this. I know that I'm not meant to follow, but I'm actually here to be a leader or be a guide. I feel like I'm remembering something I always knew. That was me. I was like, how do I know what I know? And I would read books and I would go through all this self-help. I'm like, I know that. I know that. I know that. I don't know why I know that. I just know that. Come to find out, we're literally born for it. So Ashley already talked about who I am and what I do, so I'm not going to go into this. But for those of you who are also healing practitioners, you can download my mobile app for free. It's the SBT, which stands for Subtle Body Transmutation Energy Therapy mobile app. If you have the ability to tap into the subconscious using muscle testing, or if you don't have the ability and you want that ability, you can learn how to do that for free on my mobile app. You can download that and tap into your own subconscious mind or your clients' minds for free and do the basics. And then there's individual training in the app where you can even become certified. And if you want to, you can be one of my network of healers. That's about how 50% of my clients come to me for ceremony, is that we're doing energy work on a much deeper level through the subconscious mind. And then by default, they end up wanting to go deeper and they end up coming into our ceremonial space and making plant medicine part of their individual practice. And so if you want that, that information is here. All right, human design. So let's just talk a little bit about it. For those of you who don't know, to the right, that's a sample of a human design chart. Human design blends astrology, the I Ching, the Kabbalah, and the chakra system to create your own personal body graph. It's like a blueprint. It shows how you're designed to make decisions, how you interact with others, and you use your energy in a way that aligns with who you truly are, not who you were taught to be. So human design, you can actually discover what your strengths are, what your gifts are, what your patterns, but also your shadows. And you can understand how you're uniquely wired to connect and create and contribute to this world. And it is really mind-blowing because it's very validating as you begin to pull these reports. Now, all of those in my network of healers are able to pull your human design and read it for you. I do have one student, she's becoming certified as an SBT Energy Therapy practitioner, and she is actually a certified human design reader. So there are people who are actually certified in doing this for you. And if you'd like more information about that, I'll put her website on the next slide where we pulled Ashley's report. It'll pull the report, it'll look like this, and it'll give you a summary, but it won't go as detailed as we're going to do for Ashley today. So it allows you to understand and identify where you may have been conditioned by external expectations like family, school, culture. It also allows you to just really remember who you were before you were brought into this world and who you were told to be. So I'm excited to do Ashley's, particularly because less than 9%, around 9% of the human population falls into her category. So she is a manifester. Here's the website up top, which is experienceempowered.com. You can go on there and pull your full report. There's lots of places online you can pull a full report, but that's just one website of one of my students. And so you're going to fall into four categories. There's a subcategory. The first one being a generator. I'm a generator. 35% of the population are generators. And then there's a manifesting generator. So think of like me and Ashley mixed, kind of. So there's then a projector, which is 20% of the population, and then a manifester, which is 9%, and reflectors, which is 1%. And then these get broken down even further, but we're going to talk just a little bit about Ashley and her unique human design, which is, when I say unique, obviously 9%. Okay. So Ashley, we're just going to talk a little bit, Ashley, about your childhood, early adulthood, and if any of this is not on point, let me know. If it's on point, let me know as we go here. But as a manifester, you're the initiator and the instigator. So in your childhood years, your aura was oftentimes closed, repelling, and impactful. And when I was like, man, your aura was closed, repelling, and impactful, I was like, what the heck does that mean? It almost sounds rude. So like, ew, get away from me. So we're gonna break that down a little bit in the next slide. But your core drive was to catalyze change and move independently. You craved freedom. You were reactive when you were told what to do. Your parents may have actually considered you to be a tough child because you didn't want to comply. You may have been punished for being misunderstood or, quote, acting out of line. You may have been suppressed by being considered too much or too intense. And in your early adulthood, this would have caused you to oscillate between isolation and rebellion. And you may have felt anger when others resisted, feel anger when others resist your impulses and hide your power or pushes it too forcefully on others. Would you say this resonated with your childhood and early adulthood?
Yes, this does resonate, and also naming the vulnerability that I'm feeling in this. I'm excited. I love this, and also just naming that it's in the room with me. My mother actually sent me to live with one of my aunts while growing up because I was too hard of a child to raise. She could not. Yeah, I was out of line. I was a rebel, didn't listen, and so she just couldn't do it, and sent me to live with my aunt. So yeah, that absolutely resonates for childhood. And I think, yeah, PGN, and kind of I'm very vocal about how I feel about the healthcare model and pattern interrupting conventional methods. That is, I would consider maybe an act of rebellion in some ways.
Oh, that's coming. Your report shows all that and exactly why you were supposed to do PGN. It shows how all of these things were gifts, and at first they were tough, but that shows it's 100% designed. Like, this childhood is 100% in alignment. And as I went through more of PGN and just reading your mission and reading more about you, I was like, oh, she is 100% in her human design. This is in alignment completely. All right, so I really wanted to dive in a little bit about what this meant to be closed, repelling, or impactful. The reality is, being closed, a manifestor's aura isn't wide open like a generator. So mine is wide open. Yours is more contained and not easily penetrated by others' energy. So this gives you a sense of like mystery or distance to other people. And other people can't automatically read a manifestor's personality or what their intentions are or their emotions. And so when you walk into a room, you have this air of being a little mysterious. And this is why you're designed to be that way. Repelling doesn't mean bad or mean. It means that your energy has a natural way of pushing others back, saying, this is my space. And the reason for this is that it helps you to maintain independence and move without interference. It's actually a protective design. And so this may, on the shadow side, have worked against you in the past because people may have not been able to understand this about you, but it's actually there in order to help you fulfill your purpose and magnify your callings on this planet. It's actually a good thing. However, there is one element in here that will make your life a lot easier if you haven't already adopted it into your life, and I'll share it to you when we get there. Your energy auric field is also impactful. So meaning when you initiate, your actions literally ripple outward. And this doesn't mean just speaking. It's literally when you move or you create, people notice. You are literally designed to make waves and start movements and catalyze change. And so I was chuckling as I read that, and I was like, yep, that's definitely what Ashley's doing right now. It's just so cool that this information is pulled and known by your name, your birth date, where you were born, and your birth time. And I could have no conversation with you and know all this about you, which is really, really beautiful. All right, so in midlife, it's this would be your midlife awakening, realizing that you were meant to lead, not follow, learning to inform others before taking action. This is huge. This is where I said this tip that will make your life a lot easier. When you inform others what you're going to do, you're setting the stage so that others don't take offense or have they're not on edge. And so it was so funny. Just before we started this Zoom call, Ashley said to me, she said, I really like to set the stage and let people know what to expect. She said, and how things are going to go. And I chuckled because that's 100% in alignment with her human design. She's learned that in order for her to fulfill her purpose and magnify her callings, she just has to say, this is how it's going to go. And then everyone just goes with it. They're just comfortable in her energy field. They trust her 100%. And so she's on point with that. Stepping into her purpose, she boldly initiates new paths, new programs, movements, or ideas. We can see that completely with PGN. She learns to balance independence with responsible impact and creates the ripples that others respond to, even when they walk alone, which is really cool. So when you're in alignment, we're going to talk about both when you're in alignment and when you're out of alignment and how to know. Okay. So others will often describe you as powerful, commanding, compelling. Even if you're quiet, you can have this energy just when you walk into a room. You can shift anything just by your presence. You don't even need to say anything, which is really kind of powerful, because those of us who are guides, oftentimes we get nervous sometimes about saying the right thing or guiding someone. And so even in psychedelic journeys, I don't know about those who are here, but I do oftentimes psilocybin journeys, and I love one-on-one psilocybin journeys. And sometimes channeling comes through, and sometimes I'm able to literally channel their highest self and tell them exactly what's needed to help them organize their thoughts or the energy within them. And yet, sometimes that's not the case at all. It's just my presence alone that creates the energetic shift for them to step into. And so I think sometimes as individuals, we may doubt that. We may doubt the impact of our presence, that just the ripple effect of you sitting in the room is literally changing their mindset, their way of acting, their way of being, and bringing them peace. And so as facilitators, come to know what your gifts are. Is it just your presence, or is it your voice, right? Everybody's design is a little bit different. So here's something that I thought was really interesting, is that others around you naturally pause to wait to hear what you're going to say. So you could be sitting in a chair and just make an adjustment or clear your throat, and people will pause and look at you, waiting to hear what you're about to say next, just because of who you are. You initiate new ideas, projects, and paths without waiting for validation. Your influence creates momentum for others. Momentum. Others can then carry your momentum forward, which again, this PGN network is the network is perfect for that. So this is what it looks like in real life when you're not in we're still about what it looks like when you're in a group and what it naturally looks like in real life situations. So we talk about that people will naturally turn to you to listen. They'll pause before acting because they want to know what you have to say. In relationships, others might defer to your direction, defer to your direction. And so they may be like, what are you thinking, Ashley? How do you feel about it? And as a result of this, you may have said to yourself, why do I have to know the answer? Why do I have to be the one who is guiding here? Why does everybody look at me for the answers? And it's just because that's what you're designed to do. So when you're misaligned, others might feel intimidated. They may feel rejected or confused by your energy. And you could be considered cold or aloof or distant, even if you're not. If you don't inform others before taking action, people will often resist you or push back, and you may withdraw or suppress your power to avoid conflict or judgment. And you may feel angry when you're blocked, controlled, or misunderstood. Do any of these seem in alignment for you?
Yeah, my very first guided MDMA journey, my intention was requesting help in working with the fire. within, which for me, the fire represents kind of just the anger, the frustration, the irritability that can really just kind of bubble up. And I wanted support around that. And so yeah, it is landing that the out of alignment and the in alignment. It's also interesting to hear others wait for me to say something or pause to see what I have to say. And I think in certain contexts, that feels like that does happen sometimes, but in other contexts, maybe more casual recreational contexts, I don't find that happens as much. I think I tend to defer to other people, and I also surround myself with a lot of I think my husband's a great thinker, so I kind of I find that happens a lot with him or some of the other people that I'm surrounded with. But yeah, it's resonating. Yeah.
I think the part that's also beautiful is that even though you may have worked around and found a way that works for you, it doesn't necessarily mean, I'll give a prime for instance, and I'll just share it from my own personal experience. You have an essence of you as a leader. And so I think even at times you may not even know that is that's happening, but sometimes it's not even your words that lead. It's just your presence that does it. And it's really powerful. And it's humbling, I think, for a lot of us who are confident and we know that we have a purpose to fulfill. It can also be somewhat intimidating at times and feel like a lot of pressure. And for any of those who are listening who feel that way and who come to know these gifts that they have in alignment with their own human design, I invite you to take the pressure off yourself and to know that even though this is part of your calling, there are other sides that are the shadow side that actually help. At first they begin to feel like a curse, and then we recognize how they're gifts. And so it's really mind-blowing to break these reports down and then be able to tap into the subconscious and ask if there's any part that doesn't seem totally in alignment, like, why might that be? Or why might I resist this element of me? Or why do I not feel comfortable with this aspect of myself? So there's not a whole lot of slides here left. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer. I'm not in the, if you see any, Ashley, that are important, let me know. Okay. When misunderstood, feel intimidated, rejected. We talked about that. Okay. So your your authority, emotional, is your solar plexus. So this in particular gift for you, you have emotional clarity over time. You're not meant to make spontaneous decisions. You gain depth and wisdom by riding the emotional wave and allowing clarity to settle. Your emotions are a powerful guidance system, and they are a creative force for you. Now, I want to ask you, from my perception, seem like you have a high A personality and can make split decisions and are really good at that element of making split decisions. Do you find this emotional clarity over time to resonate with you, or do you think that you're more logical and that you would rather not make decisions based on emotions over logic?
100% on that emotional wave. I feel into the decision-making process. It feels like a yes or it feels like a no. I tap into whatever I can that's available for me energetically to really sense if this is something that I should or shouldn't be doing. And I desire actually more of the balance of the logic, the rational mind, the emotional mind, the wise mind, to bring in some like mindfulness, Buddhism, which I really enjoy. I desire more balance and harmony. But the emotional wave is the most palpable in everywhere, like in most settings. I'm just constantly feeling the energy and the emotions.
That's amazing. So I just want to comment on this because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they want to rely on logic versus emotion. And if you're a psychedelic guide, and I have no doubt that many individuals in this group are entrepreneurs. If you are an entrepreneur and have been conditioned to step into mind over emotions, meaning making decisions from your logic versus your emotions, this may cause you to be out of alignment and make poor business decisions. And I say that from my own personal experience. I've always been, prior to understanding this world and myself, a very logical person. And I would pride myself on being a logical person, a very unemotional person. And the result of that is that I would, although it was successful, I wouldn't make long lasting decisions that were in alignment with my purpose. I would act out of strategy rather than response. And this was in conflict with my human design. And now that I've learned how to do exactly what Ashley's talking about, my business decisions now have a ripple effect that I couldn't even imagine. It's just really powerful and beautiful. And there's so much more harmony in my mind and in my body. So it's important for those who have emotional authority, solar plexus, that they know that and that they're in alignment with that. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer. If not, I'll finish up these slides a little bit about Ashley. One of the other gifts that you have is an internal energetic consistency. All of your gifts integrate really well. You process experiences as a unified being. You likely feel more self-contained and less dependent on others to, quote, complete you. And that's not true with other modalities. I'm sorry, with other types. There are other types that actually do best with having another individual in their life to help feel like they're being completed. And their shadow would be like codependency, knowing that they're already complete, but that they actually do best around other people. You are not one of those people. You can do well independently. The shadow side to this is that it may cause you to overlook the value of calibration or resist relying on others, which can lead to isolation and over independence. And so we've talked about split or triple definitions who naturally seek connection with others to feel whole. So it's good for you to know which category you fall into. I'm a person who I do really well with others and collaboration. I would not be as good independently as you. So one of your gifts is the 6th line, the role model. You are literally designed to grow into deep wisdom through life experiences, especially in these 3 stages. So from 0 to 30, all about experimentation. You talked a little bit about your childhood, thanks for your vulnerability in that. But from 30 to 50 is kind of the withdraw and observation. Yes, you're still stepping a little bit into it, but surprisingly, 50 on is when you really become the natural example to others. So you have to look forward to even more of this guide, the way that you guide and initiate others. It gets even better after 50, which is really cool. Your 2nd line is the hermit. You have innate talents that emerge without being taught. So this aspect, if you've ever had this thought, I don't know how I know what I know, I just know. And I don't know why I have this wisdom. I just have it. It's literally because you were born with it. When you're called out by others, your gifts shine effortlessly. We also know that you need some time to be alone. And for you, your life theme, okay, we can actually find out what your life theme purpose is through human design. You're here to help others identify with meaning by bringing clarity and precision and emotional depth to what often feels confusing or abstract to other people. Your purpose is to express truth, refine talent, provoke introspection, guide others to a deeper self-recognition, often by just sharing your own emotional and experimental journey. That's all about Ashley. Thanks for letting me do this for you. It's really beautiful.
What a gift, Laura. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. And thank you everybody for witnessing me in that reading. Yeah, a lot of it resonates. There's a lot to digest, a lot to marinate on. And I think what comes up for me is specifically in regards to like the energy and the presence and the impact and the ripple effect, quiet or not, like just having an impact. It really invites me into more responsibility and keeping my awareness and my energy clean and my energy pure, and just, really heightens my it heightens my desire to step into more responsibility for my energetic hygiene, knowing that it has that kind of impact in places. So thank you for all of that.
Thanks for sharing. I would say that response was the same for me as well. Once I understood my impact, I had a lot more respect for who I am and the impact that I have on others. Exactly what you just said. When you know that that's the impact that you're having on others, you're not so thoughtless or careless with it, because you know that literally if you are in your own zone walking into a room, other people can literally take offense to it, even though you're not meaning to do that, and so it's being mindful of the impact that you have on others even when you're not trying to is it's humbling to know these things about ourselves.
Radical presence is what's coming up, having a radical presence and having one operating system. I think sometimes there can be other things operating in the background. It's like, one operating system operating at one time all the time, and being really present with what I'm projecting onto the screen and into the field.
Yeah.
Thank you
Not too much pressure though. You're so welcome. Thanks for being the guinea pig and the example for all of us to witness you. And it was beautiful. You are unique for sure, as is everybody, but this uniqueness can be identified more clearly. So I definitely like to open it up. If anybody, we don't have time to pull others' individual human design. You can always, if you want to meet with somebody to do that with you, matchwiththehealer.com is my website. But for right now, I have the ability to answer questions and tap into anyone who's, like, why can't I do this? And I want to do this, but I'm blocked here. And so we can definitely do that if you're willing to share.
See some smiling faces, some shifting
like,
of the body.
I don't want to, but I don't know.
Again, members potentially wanting to step in, or new.
I'll throw myself under the bus. What the heck?
Hi, Glenn.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm fabulous. How you feeling?
Well, all of a sudden I'm a little self-conscious, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
Thanks for your vulnerability.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as you're talking, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. Started my first business when I was 23 as an electrical contractor and ran businesses my whole life. And several years ago, shifted completely. Spent the last 30 years training as a somatic therapist, medicine guide and all that, and transformed, changed, went out of the contracting business and bought a retreat center up here in Klamath Falls, which was a kind of a lifelong dream. And it kind of, the way it came to be was kind of divinely handed to me. And then I went kicking and screaming, trying to say, no, I don't want to, but it kept pulling me into it. And because of that, like, the blocks are kind of around, it's kind of a like, why me? Why was I chosen or pulled into this thing? And really have struggled with completely embracing that part of it. It's kind of like, who am I? And I could feel the energetic blocks that are occurring, kind of like even to the point where I think I'm even causing, like, maybe even pushing people away from the retreat center because of something underneath there that I think is struggling a little bit with, and I talk all the time to my clients about completely owning who you are and owning my I've had to like really embody being a medicine man and talking about that really publicly and not making excuses or feeling shame or shadow about it just because of my religious upbringing, my family, and the kickbacks about I'm doing stuff that's, like devil's work. And, so I've got all this stuff going on inside there. And just really curious about this energetic block that kind of feels like it's causing resistance, so.
I'd love to find out. If you're okay with me tapping into your subconscious, I'll do it right now. Are you okay with that? You give me permission to do that?
Sure, just don't put new programs in there.
No,
Unless they're good.
you can trust me. Maybe I'll try to identify if any programs are in there, but yeah, I'm not going to do anything. We're just going to identify and I don't even know that we'll have time to clear it, but we can at least identify some of the primary things if you're okay with that. So, all right, I just invite you to close your eyes, take a nice big deep breath, just allow the heart to be open. It's Glenn, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Glenn, can I ask how many years young you are? How old are you?
63.
Thank you. Wow. So first of all, I just want to acknowledge how much love you have. This is really, there's so much love, man. Wow. Okay, give me a second. Thank you for. Okay. You have, well, we all have these, but you have what's called a distorted identity. So a distorted identity, let me just see what age it was. So you have your one true highest self, right? And then you have these other identities which were created over time to show up to either protect you or manage you or manage your emotions or family members or business or whatever it might be, right? So what we can do is, and we all have these, they all come up either through trauma or life experience, and they're all just managers. And so our goal here, as I think, as the work that we do, we all know that we're all trying to get into alignment with our God consciousness or our divine consciousness, our divine essence. And these other identities come up to, they're triggered, right? So let me ask here when this one was created. They can be inherited. We can create them on our own. All things revealed. Nothing hidden from Glenn, from his spirit's highest self, please. This one was created at age 3. Let me see if I can identify a little bit more about it. What it's saying is that in order to help, so in a session, what we would do is merge or transcend this identity. What we first is treat it like its own individual person. Hey, thanks for coming. Thanks for taking care of Glenn. Thanks for everything that you've shown up for, right? And then we would ask, what does it need in order to ascend or transcend or merge one with its highest self? And we can do this in our psychedelic journeys, or we can do this in our meditation. And so what it's saying is that your highest self needs divine remembrance of your own worth or power or your rights before this identity can ascend or transcend. And so if we were in a session, what I would do is I would just ask, what is it that you need remembrance of, so that we can then quiet that aspect of the mind. And it may have other additional cords or attachments that we might need to clear, but this is the primary reason why you're not fully stepping into that. It's an internal battle between your truest identity and this other identity that was created in order to, it identifies as getting your needs met, but I don't, for the sake of time, I don't know what that need is yet. Is this helpful at all, Glenn?
Yeah, when you said age 3, that spoke to something that was probably like around the time that my mom began telling me my birth story, that I was brought in to do something significant, that I was one of God's elect, and Satan was going to be after my soul and test it and put me to the test. And I had this big thing, and I can remember at a very young age 7, 8 years old, standing in my room, literally saying, fuck you, God, flipping God off. Like, what is this? What do you want from me? What, that kind of thing. And now I'm starting to get emotional because it's like, this is the thing that it's like my life of like searching for this thing and battling against what felt like others saw, but what's my purpose? What's my, and so I've been trying to find that path, which is no wonder I've gotten into the medicine work and going into those realms and doing ego death journeys, things like that to try to clear it, but it's still there. It's just, and it's been rearing. It's had a lot this last year, like really coming up against this identity or whatever it is that just does not want to let go.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. I'm feeling, I felt your love, and now I'm feeling a lot of love for you. And yeah, we can, I never like to leave anyone hanging, you know what I mean? As soon as I give them, let me just drop this bomb on you. And then, so I just want to let you know, if you want help with that, we can help. I can help.
Yeah, I mean, I think I may be reaching out to you here.
Okay. Yeah. And for those who don't, who just want to learn how to do it on their own, I can teach you how to do it on your own as well. So this isn't in any way, shape, or form a sales pitch. I just want you to know that you're not alone in this, and it makes sense why it's showing up, right? It's now getting louder, saying, hey, I need some attention. There's some things that I need so that I can rest. I've fulfilled my purpose, and you don't need it anymore, right? And so but there's still the battle. Until you know what it needs, it's probably going to keep showing up.
Yeah, and that's what I'm having struggle with. Like, what does it mean,
Yeah.
to relax? Because there's a lot of fear underneath letting it go.
And that usually is always true with distorted identities, because they're there as almost it's like an alter ego, right? There's that fear of letting it go. So in the work we do is we develop the voice of the higher self, and we get this one to relax a little bit, to say, look, I don't need you to do this anymore in order to either protect me or manage me. And so, I admit that using muscle testing is what I'm doing, and charts, and your subconscious just telling me exactly what you need makes it so much easier than trying to figure it out on our own. I don't know where I'd be without this work. Trying to figure things out on our own is really hard, but this work makes it a lot easier. Thanks for sharing, Glenn.
Thanks, Laura. Appreciate it.
So welcome.
Love the vulnerability, Glenn. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for letting us witness you also, Laura, in that beautiful process.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me do what I do.
Yeah, you should do. Yeah, we've got ample time to continue if you'd like, or whatever direction you'd like to take.
Yeah, I'm ready. I want to do as many as we can. I see Marina's got her hand up.
If I may ask also about the blog, because I certainly have a big one and a very old one, and the block is verbal.
Okay.
I very often struggle to express myself. I have a huge fear around it. It keeps me from speaking publicly. It keeps me, even not speaking publicly, even in a company of friends, I will hesitate to speak up. I always feel that I will say it wrong, that people will misperceive me, that people will not listen. So it's a very, very old thing. And the same actually goes with writing. I feel I'm blocked in writing.
Okay.
So that's big and old.
With all of that, I want to thank you for your courage, for raising your hand and speaking. I'm sure that this is not easy. So I just want to thank you for having the courage to do that. Let me just tap in. Give me just a second. I can feel the anxiety in your solar plexus. So thank you for letting me be here. And I just want to tell you, you're doing a great job. Okay, give me just a second here. Hi. So this first one is what we call the energy of a memory cloud. A memory cloud is what it sounds like. It's just a low vibrational stagnant energy in the auric field that's blocked up or slowed down, and it can hover over you. This cloud of energy may feel like a dense, sometimes extremely sluggish energy that's stored in the auric field. So let me just ask what age this was here. From age 11. Energy clouds can be easy for me to clear. So let me just ask here if there's any associations to it. By associations, I just mean energetic ties or blocks. Some membrane clouds, it's not like just an identity that has many layers, but let me ask. So I'm just gonna clear this memory cloud for you from, do you give me permission to clear this memory cloud for you?
Yes,
Okay.
sure, thank you.
So I invite you to repeat in your mind, I'm safe to be in the now, and take a deep breath. And this next one, you're going to take a really big deep breath. I'm safe to be in the now, right now, right now. I'm safe to be in the now. Really big deep breath. Feel the lungs really expand really wide. Okay, that was the first one. Let me see here. There we go. All right, what's the second one? It's taking me back to a memory cloud. All right, so let me ask, how many layers of these? Something, have you always been this way, or from primarily around age 11 on?
I think I always, what maybe was not verbal, I was very shy child. For me to be a center of attention was very painful, as long as I remember myself.
Yeah.
But then it became about expressing.
So there's something here about a memory from age 11. And let me see. There's like 4 different energy blocks from around age 11. From which the nice part about this work is you don't have to remember what they are, right? We can just, as we know, the same that we do within medicine spaces or in meditation, we can just clear it. So what I'd like to do here, so I don't know what you do in your own practice individually, but I'd like to give you some tools maybe that will help you to clear this on your own, unless you want to book a session, which you could do, of course. But I just want to ask what's most helpful for you here. There's a book called Stop Walking on Eggshells by Randy Krager that's testing in your best interests.
All right. Okay, let me write it down.
Okay. Stop Walking on Eggshells by Paul Mason and Randy Krieger.
Stop walking on eggshells.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what's testing best for you.
Thank you.
You're so very welcome. And let me just ask here. These are what we call samskaras, which are imprints in the memory field of experiences, something around age 11 with these memories. And so if you're doing your own meditation or your own journey, you could probably clear these things now that you know what they are. They're not real deep. It's not something that's, you know, so deeply rooted that it should take forever. It should be a pretty quick shift now that you've identified them, and you make a little cognitive shift here, but it's not real deep. So welcome. How much time we have, Ashley?
We have about half an hour, 28 minutes to be
And
exact. Yeah, we have time for a 90-minute and whatever's feeling organic for you as well. I really respect and honor you stepping into this gift. And I imagine it's an energy process. And so when you're feeling complete also is also a
okay.
good time.
I didn't want the presentation aspect to go for so long. And so I'm really glad that we got through that a lot faster than I expected. Yeah, I'm here for it. Let's do it. And if there aren't other volunteers, then I can go deeper into those who have volunteered. But I just want to give enough space for those who are here to receive.
I'm also curious, and while everybody sits with and feels into if they want to step into this container with Laura, Laura, you were sharing a little bit about maybe adding some context to this gift and the channeling and the reading that you're doing right now. I don't know if you would call it channeling. It feels like channeling to me, but the tapping into the subconscious in this way. Well, yeah, do you feel comfortable sharing a little bit more like context about your process right now and what you're doing?
I would love to. So let me also open up my app that I'll be able to share here. Okay, so for those of you who've either been to a chiropractor or an acupuncturist, you may have seen or been familiar with muscle testing. So if you went to a chiropractor, they may have asked you to hold out your arm and asked you to resist as they push down, or they had you lay on your back and they tested your feet to ask you to resist their pressure. So what they're doing is muscle testing, also called kinesiology. And what they're doing is they're asking your body true or false questions and finding out if the response is true or false. So with your permission, I'm doing that exact same thing. I'm tapping into your subconscious and I'm using my hands here and interlocking my two fingers, my thumb and my index. And so for instance, I'm asking, can I receive information on behalf of Ashley? That pulls and that's a yes. Same amount of pressure if I ask, for instance, her name is Sandy, same amount of pressure, it breaks and that's a no. So we can all pick up on other people's energy fields. I'm just doing it on purpose. Anyone can learn how to do this. It's not magic. And then what I'm doing is using the
Kind of magic.
it does kind of, it looks like magic. Yeah. It's the same as a pendulum testing or water dowsing with rods and those things. And so I'm the creator of the SBT Energy Therapy healing modality, and this is my mobile app. And when you download the mobile app, you open it up and these are what looks like books, right? So you have books on the left, 5 on each side. And so I'm asking for Ashley if I can identify the underlying cause of whatever issue she's bringing. And if the answer is yes, I ask, is it on the left side or is it on the right side? And so let's just say, and I'm muscle testing, right? It's on the left side. So Ashley, are you okay with me using you as an example for something simple?
Yes.
Okay, let me just tap in. So I'm opening up my heart and I'm asking to receive information on behalf of Ashley, and the answer to that is yes. So I want to ask if there is a block or imbalance I can identify for her right now, taking a deep breath, recentering. The answer to that is yes. Is it on the left side? Yes. Is it in 1? Is it in 2? All right, so the first one is, think of opening these books and they have chapters. In this one, it's an emotion. So I can identify what the source of the emotion is. So I'm going to do that here. Is it on the left side, right side? So this is what we call a shared trapped emotion. So meaning that she may be sharing an emotion with somebody else. And we're gonna, because we're releasing it or transmuting it, it's probably gonna be a negative. There's 240 negative emotions in here. You can't see them, that's on purpose because we're using muscle testing. So is the emotion on the left side? It's yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's in 4. And then we just drill down. Is it on the left side, right side? 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, it's an 8. Is it on the left side, right side? 1, 2. In a quandary. So there's a trapped emotion of in a quandary, in a state of perplexity or uncertainty. And she's sharing this with someone else. It's like uncertain or puzzled. And so this may be old. It may, because emotions can get trapped in the body from any point in time, right? We can find one from childhood, one that's inherited. We have emotions that can be shared or absorbed by others. And so this might be an emotion that her and someone else, due to a recent experience, was like, I don't know how I want to move forward with this particular stage in my life. And then we would release or transmute that energy. Let's see if I can just release it for you now. I can. All right, nice big deep breath. What I'm doing is swiping over the governing meridian. The governing meridian runs from the tip of the nose all the way over the skull, back down the spine. And we're just setting intention to release this emotion of perplexity, being puzzled in a quandary, out of the body, out of the auric field, and back into Mother Earth. I'm just going to verify, is that done? And it is. Thanks for letting me do that. I'm just going to close being connected to Ashley here. And I'm testing, I'm Laura, and that's true. Okay. So in the app, it breaks down the body. You can identify every system within and throughout the body, all of the operating systems. If you have an imbalance in your reproductive system, in your endocrine system, your lymphatic, your skeletal, it literally breaks down all systems within the body and then tells you more about them. If we broke down everything, the pineal gland, and then it explains what the pineal gland is. And then in each section, we'll tell you what the symptom of that imbalance is. So for instance, if you had a pineal gland imbalance, you may have difficulty planning ahead. You may have disruption in your circadian rhythm. You may have challenges with your eyes, insomnia. And then the muscle connections to that, and then how to resolve it. I literally break down. You test to see if there's any other imbalances associated with that. You identify if there's any associations. And after all associations are cleared, you then ask for the pineal gland to come into complete alignment with its highest order of creation.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Everything in here, from curses, generational curses, to portals, to negative entities, subtle body. It breaks down all of the chakras. You may have a broken heart. This is where we found Glenn's distorted identity. And here's a chart about the distorted identities where we can learn it and find more. And then the definition of a distorted identity. And then there's training videos down here, which for people who don't want to become certified, nobody has to be certified to do energy work. Anybody can do it. You can do it for yourself or others. You can just watch some of the free videos or buy videos a la carte, and then it will store our history for us. You can export that to your client or yourself and set up an account so that you can use the app across devices. Does anyone have any questions about this?
What a gift. Just a comment. What a gift to have these resources available. Thank you for making them free and sharing them so openly. Yeah, I see Marina has a hand as well.
I do want to share that there's many basics on there that are free for things being able to find, like distorted identities. All the emotions are free. There's prayers in there that are free. How to muscle test is free. But the more complex things like limiting beliefs and the subtle body and the body, those things are a paid version of the app. But you could test it out for 2 weeks for free.
I love the code of ethics I saw in there too. That was.
Oh yeah, you have to. Yeah, if you use the app, you agree to only use it for good and never tap into somebody's subconscious without their permission.
So good. I'm on a whole ethics kick right now. It's amazing. But Marina, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Laura, you mentioned that human design is based on astrology and I Ching and Kabbalah. How does it play into all of that?
Such a great question. So they're not, so we use human design as an added bonus in our sessions. And so we love the ability to just pull this, when we do an intake can take a while to get to know about you. And I may have a client who asks me, they may look at my life and they may think that, oh, I want Laura's life. I'll just give an example of a recent one. Her life looks like it's so great, which it is, by the way. But then she'll ask me a question. She'll say, do you have a routine? And I go, yes, I have a routine. And she's beating herself up about not having a routine herself. Well, her human design is not designed to have a routine. Mine is. And so if she's beating herself up because she goes through these really high highs and then these really low lows, and then this rest and recovery phase, and then she gets a surge of energy, this is actually 100% in alignment with her human design. But here she is beating herself up, thinking that she wants this, that she feels bad because she'll take a whole day to sleep. And then she'll be up for the next 15 hours in this surge of energy, being super productive, all this writing, this business stuff, taking care of legal matters, and then she'll crash. And here she's thinking, why am I like this? Why do I have this surge of energy and crash? Well, her human design is designed to be that way. So what I'll do in a session is, of course, I can muscle test and I can ask, what is a daily routine that is in her highest and greatest good, meaning what's an average sleep cycle for her to go to bed and wake up. But this is going to change based on the seasons, based on her cycles, based on the solar system. And so without the human design report, I may fall into the trap of saying, well, let's get you on a routine, because I will think that what's best for her is just like what's great for me. And it's not. It's not good for her. So according to her human design, she needs to have this burst of energy, then rest and recover, then burst of energy. And that's what's best for her. And now I can allow her to feel comfortable and confident that that's the way she operates, and it's perfect.
Thank you, Laura. And
Yeah.
one more short question connected. So when somebody comes to you, you look at the chart, the birthday, and
If I invite them to share their information with me so that I can pull their chart. Yes, not always. Some people aren't comfortable with that. I don't need your chart in order to do the work. But it is nice to have, and all of those within my healing network I have the ability to do this. And then of course we will have those who are actually certified in, which takes it a deeper level for them to do that. But what I'm doing here, this the energy work where I'm tapping into the subconscious, these things really kind of help us identify, like, for instance, we pulled Ashley's report, and let's just say that she hadn't created PGN, and she's in this 9-to-5 job where she's not expressing this energy through her own entrepreneurship and serving others. She would probably not be doing really well if she hadn't created this network. She would probably be not good. So what I would do then is
When I
identify.
was in corporate America, 9 to 5.
Okay. Was it not good for you?
No, I was in corporate medicine. It was challenging.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that Ashley can't still be in that, but without PGN side by side with that, she wouldn't really be in alignment with her human design, because she is designed to lead. She is designed to empower others and to break processes. And so nothing wrong with corporate America and being in it, but she would need this other side to help her to be in alignment with her human design.
And Laura, when you read us about Ashley, was it based on just your intuition, or is it on her chart?
Everything that we went over was on her chart. I had not tapped into her subconscious at all. All of that was just from her chart.
From her chart. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey. Well, we still have 15 minutes.
That's awesome. That's an epic flow here.
Yeah, this is really exciting. I'm digging it. Maybe we do this again. And friendly, just disclaimer to everybody, we are live streaming, but please know that the live stream will be taken down once we're done. And if you've had a reading or desire to have a reading and don't want this stored in the recording in the portal, send us a message to let us know, and we'll make sure that we remove your particular reading if you're not comfortable with that. So just want to respect everybody's autonomy and individuality in that way. Who's next?
I see Whitney's hand.
Thank you, Laura. And thank you, Ashley, for hosting this. Really beautiful. Okay, do you take a breath? I am trying to work on being more authentically me, specifically with other people. I can feel old programs of how to be, and I am working on trying to allow, more authenticity, specifically in groups, and to not go to my comfort zone of solitude. And it just feels strange because when I'm with others, I want to try to be in the certain like uplifter, like I see you, I get this, and I'm realizing that's not really sustainable or natural. Like it feels like a protection. Like that's how I can get people to like me, and then I'll be safe. And I don't like that. So then I don't like being around people. So then I isolate myself. But I need to be around people. So that is what I'm working on. I spoke with my coach yesterday, and I'm about to step into a art of facilitation program with Ashley next week, and she helped me get clear on my intention on being in my body more, and like how uncomfortable I feel when I'm with others, because I kind of leave myself and I'm like, oh, hi, how are you? And I'm with you, and what do you need? What makes you comfortable? And I like don't listen to myself. And so there's this voice that's like, if you're gonna be authentic and listen to yourself and your needs while you're with someone else, you're being rude. They're not gonna like you. They're gonna think you're a bitch. So then I'm like, oh, I don't like that. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm seeking to be more in my body, specifically when I'm with other people. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I want to give you a big old hug. I have some questions, but they're kind of vulnerable, and you're already being so vulnerable. So I just
okay. I'm open to questions.
okay. Do you have some relationships in your life right now that are toxic? Or in your area?
I would just say I struggle with connecting with my like immediate family. Like I can't have any real conversations. In fact, I asked my mom the other day if she would be willing to do family therapy with me, because I was like, I just don't know how to kind of reach you. And she was like, I'm not open to that. And I was like, okay. And she's been, yeah, that's been hard to not have like that female role model. So I'm very proud of myself for the work I've done in my life and how I felt called to do this work. But it is, I just pulled a card yesterday of Mother Mary, and it was like, how can you mother yourself? And I was like, right, okay, so it's okay that my mom can't fulfill that role in this lifetime. I have other mentors and other guides, and I'm very strong, and I can tap into my inner mother. But that feels potent, I guess, to that question. She lives on the other side of the country, so she's not like an immediate person in my life. But
so as soon as I tap in, I'm just going to share intuitively on the intuitive side without asking yet. And it's as though there are these, as soon as I tap in, there's a lot of energetic noise around you, like just you, but like around you. And it's relationship. It's like energetic relationship. It feels like almost toxic relationships around you. And so I don't know if it's with others or I was frozen for a second. Or if it's so I'm just going to dive in a little bit. There's a lot of energy noise just around you. That's the best way that I can say that first. All right, let me just tap in here. I see. So this is okay. Pulling your human design is going to be, have you done this for yourself already? Okay.
no, definitely interested.
It's going to be a game changer for you, because what I'm getting is that this is about your perception of your relationships. So it's like you're really not being able to be your authentic self because there's this energy of being tapped into your perception of your relationships. And let me see the underlying cause on the subconscious level of what's causing that or why you do that. Give me a second. So this is what's called a limiting inversion. So first let me explain what a limiting inversion is, and then we'll find out what it is. A limiting aversion is like, I am adverse to this, right? And so an aversion, think of it as almost like a situational or emotional allergy.
Mm.
And that once you butt up against whatever this is, I'm going to find it, it can cause you to either be anxious or avoidant. It can cause emotional reactivity or extreme or sudden sleepiness, like as the defense mechanism. It can cause you to feel overwhelmed. It can cause a headache, an inability to focus, phobia, physical pain, self-sabotage, or self-related physical symptoms. So let me find out what the aversion is. And I just want to say you're doing a great job, and thanks for your vulnerability. I see a few of my individuals here in this that are energy healing practitioners, as well as those who are certified in human design. And so I'm excited to, some of them are my students, and hey, give me a second. And so as I'm witnessing you and here and them here, I can feel their love for you, which is really a cool thing to witness. Give me a second. Okay, so is this accurate? Okay, so this is a limiting aversion to playing a victim. So it's so interesting. So it's like, here you are trying to, is this accurate? Hang on. So it's like, here you are showing up in these spaces, but you still have your own wounds, right? Your own needing either to be, as it was said to you, either be more connected to yourself or more connected to your body, or just comfortable in your own skin about who you are. And in some ways, this is the wound or the victim, but it's almost like you can't stand that about yourself. And so because you can't stand it, you have such an adverse reaction to it, it's causing this, you're not comfortable with your own wounds, I guess is probably a way of saying it. And it's causing this reaction when you show up in these environments. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so let's ask, when was this created? This is around age 7. Around age 7 is typically when the split occurs, meaning that we have to show up a certain way to get our needs met. So it's possible around age 7, as it is for many of us, that you were not allowed to have emotions about being upset about something, or that it wasn't okay for you to have any issues in an environment. Like, get it together, Whitney, come on, like, don't go to school with that, or don't embarrass me in front of our family or friends, or keep it together. It could have been anything, right?
Yeah.
So, or you may have gotten in trouble for it or something of that nature. Any associations to this? There are associations to it, so there are roots to it. And it would take about 4 sessions to clear. So you can clear it yourself if you know how to do that. If you want help, it can be helped. And so, yeah. So is there another question that I can answer for you about that?
I take that to be sessions with you.
Or what good question? Let me ask.
Because I would love to work with you.
It would be any of the healing practitioners in the network. So I should share this. I have a network of healers, which got created as a result of me being booked out so far. So I'm booked out about 60 days.
Wow.
And, it's kind of hard to get in to see me, but
Sure.
what I do is I tap into your subconscious, and then I match you with the healing practitioner that's in your highest and greatest good. And so whoever wants to work with me can work with me, as long as they're willing to wait.
Sure.
If the others in the network, I'll just be forthcoming. They're less expensive and available sooner. And
Sure.
if you're willing to be matched and trust that process, then that works too. That's, yeah. So for anyone who has that desire, but some people, once they see me or hear me, they're like, oh no, I only want to work with Laura. And I'm like, okay,
Mm,
so it's okay. But
sure.
but if you want help sooner, then there's a way to do it. And I want everybody to know our integrity. We're not trying to keep clients. We're trying to give you all the tools. And so sessions, we teach you what we're doing. We teach you how we're doing it. And then we empower you to do it yourself. Our whole philosophy is give you the tools to do this work on your own. And we're just here to help, show you what we're doing, how we're doing. And that's not entirely true for everybody in the network. What I mean by that is some of the people in the network, they do like chakra desludging, and they do, we have a death doula. And so there's lots of gifts that people have in addition to this energy work in the network. And some of that, it can't be taught in a session, but what I do can be taught in a session while we're doing it. You're actively going through it with me. I'm telling you what we're doing, how we're doing it. And yeah, we're involved in the whole process. So it's really beautiful. Thanks for being vulnerable, Whitney. I can feel your heart and your solar plexus in there. It's, whoo. Yeah, I said that took some bravery to share. I just want to acknowledge that. And
Thank you.
this perception of relationships is so loud outside of you. It's heavy. And so clearing this aversion so that you are just comfortable in your own skin, you're just comfortable with yourself because you're great just as you are, will be powerful. And being in alignment with your human design, because the human design will show you your shadows. So you'd be like, oh, that's not a problem. That's not bad about me. That's literally, I'm designed to be there. I'm designed to have that issue. And it's part of what's turning into my gift. It'll be very comforting for you to have this human design report.
Totally. Thank you so much. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So
how could I receive your recommendation for someone?
Matchwithahealer.com. Everyone, okay. Yeah, if you go to matchwithahealer.com, and there's just a little form, you fill that out, and then that lets me know to tap into your subconscious to match you.
Okay. Matchwithahealer.com. Perfect. Thank you so much, Laura. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Whitney. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being vulnerable.
Oh, thank you for receiving and witnessing. Everyone, thank you for witnessing.
Good to hear from you, Whitney. I'm excited to give you a hug when I see you in a few days.
Me too.
We are in our final 90 seconds of our event. Organic, right on time. And so Laura, just opening up the floor and also wanting to let everybody know that we will send out like a thank you for attending email that will have all the links and contact information for Miss Laura. If you want to learn more about the modality or connect with her specifically, we'll make sure that we send out all the contact information, and we did put the link in the chat. But Miss Laura, any final thoughts or shares or things that you want to leave the room with today before we officially close out?
I really want to express my love. I felt just so much love here, and so much gratitude for the vulnerability and the willingness, and thank you, Ashley, for what you've done and what you've created and bringing all of these beautiful humans together. And this is kind of the point, right? That we all need each other. And it's so beautiful. It's just a beautiful journey and process. And I couldn't fulfill my own human design and my own purpose without those willing to receive. And I'm just so thankful for everyone who's willing to step into their purpose and their design. Thank you for doing it. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Such a treat to get to witness you in this space. It feels so organic, so natural. Yeah, thank you for sharing your gifts with everybody and for doing those readings and for doing my reading. I really, really appreciate it. And I just want to offer a lot of gratitude to all of your teachers as well, to you for your journey, for coming to this point, and for allowing the wisdom to come through. It's really potent stuff, and I support you and support your message and want to amplify you and all of the work that you're doing in the field. So gratitude to you, and gratitude to everybody watching at home on the live stream or watching the recording. Thank you for those who stepped in live with us in the Zoom room, and just for your presence today. It was lovely to be here with you all, and we wish you safe travels, safe journeys, and we'll see you next time. If you want to come off mute to say goodbye, it'd be great to hear your voice.
Thanks again, Laura. I appreciate it. We'll talk
Thank
to you soon.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you for hosting, Ashley.